Sudan television for giving us this opportunity. As you may recall, our President, in the recent address to the nation on the 18th of November 2015, concentrated mostly on economic challenges facing our country, which have come about as a result of a series of shocks that have stricken our economy over the last 3 years. These shocks include impact of oil shutdown in 2012 due to disputes with Carrefour, the fall of international oil prices from the peak of about $100 per barrel to below $40 per barrel today. Furthermore, our production of oil has dropped to about 165,000 barrels per day compared to about 300,000 barrels per day before these shocks. As a country that is almost entirely dependent on oil proceeds, these shocks have resulted into the rise of huge budget deficits and continuous depreciation of our foreign exchange reserves. All these factors have exceptionally contributed to continuous deterioration of the value of our pound, South Sudanese pound, against other currencies. It is in this context of this stark reality that the President directed the Ministry of Finance and Economic Planning and the Bank of South Sudan last November to study and recommend how best we can reform our economy and the current exchange rate regime in order for us to stabilize the value of our currency. Towards that, the Ministry of Finance and the Bank of South Sudan have formulated reform measures which have been keenly reviewed. We have also consulted widely with our stakeholders, including our partners in the international financial institutions, to support any necessary measures aimed at reforming our economy and the exchange rate. Based on the assessment of all the options available, I am today announcing important measures to reform our exchange rate policy. Therefore, immediately, as from midnight, the current fixed exchange rate of South Sudan pound against US dollars will be abandoned. In itself, the determination of the value of our pound will be based on the market forces. All the regulated bodies that are dealing with the foreign exchange will therefore be free to determine the exchange rate at which they transact in buying and selling foreign exchange. The Bank of South Sudan is hereby directed to take all necessary monetary measures that will ensure that the success of this new policy. The bank will immediately issue all necessary regulations and circulars that will restructure dealing in the foreign exchange market in the country in accordance with the new policy. The Ministry of Finance and Economic Planning will also announce important measures to ensure fiscal prudence for the success of this reform. The Ministry and the bank will also put in place adequate measures, structures that can foster coordination of macroeconomic policy and implementation. Before I end my statement, I would like to underline the fact that although we expect a lot of benefits to our country as a result of these reforms, it is also true that these measures will certainly have some adverse effect on our people, particularly in the short run. To minimize the effect of these reforms, the government will undertake to raise the salaries of the lower income groups. I therefore ask all of you to be patient as we undertake these difficult necessary reform measures. I appreciate the resilience in overcoming all the difficulties and sacrifices you have been going through. We are confident that ultimately this measure we are undertaking will bring a better future to our people. Thank you all for listening. نحن عارفين رئيس بتاعنا في يوم 18 شهر 11 تكلم لأمة كلام بخصوص مشاكل الاقتصادية اللي قاعدين فوق، ورئيس وجه بأنه وزير المالية مع محافظ بنك جنوب السودان يعمل ترتيبات علشان كيف نحل المشاكل دي. المشاكل دي مثل في شنو؟ المشكلة هو لما كان ثمن البترول بتاعنا بتاع برميل كان $100 نزل من 100 لأقل من 40، والليلة برضو هنا الإنتاج بتاعنا بتاع بترول هسه بقى 165,000 برميل في اليوم من ما كان 300,000 برميل. فبرضو الحاجة دي أدي إلى يعني الفاليو بتاع الجنيه بتاعنا بتاع جنوب السودان نزل خالص. فعلشان الرئيس وجه الكلام ده نحن البنك المركزي عملنا ترتيبات علشان نقدر نحل الموضوع بتاع الاقتصاديات الواجهة هنا في جنوب السودان. فنحن قررنا بين من يوم الليلة في وصل الليلة الثمن بتاع الجنيه بتاعنا ما بعملوا لي دولار اللي هو $2.95 هيخلوه علشان يمشي بطريقته حتى المحل يجي فوقه يعني بيكون سعر بتاع الجنيه بتاعنا. ونحن نوجه كل الناس اللي بتعامل مع دولارات بينهم من يوم الليلة وسود الليل ما في تاني جنوب بتاع السوداني ما جنوب السوداني ما بحددوا تاني إلا سوق هذا بحدد من نجيبه. هذا ده بأثر على هنا عارفين هذا ده صعب شوية لأنه بأثر على المواطنين وتانيين يعني في مدة القصيرة، لكن في المستقبل بنفع البلد. برضو الحكومة بعمل ترتيبات علشان الناس عندهم مواهب بسيطة يرفعوا مواهب بتاعهم علشان يواجه المشكلة ممكن يجي في تنفيذ السياسة ده. فأنا بوجه للمواطنين يعني المواطنين بتاعنا قويين، كان الزمن ده كله تعبانين كلام اللي يصبر شوية إن شاء الله بعد الزمن هاي ده بدي لنتائج إيجابية كويسة خالص للاقتصاد بتاعنا. وأنا أشكركم ونقول لكم شكرا جزيلا. ده هذا الترجمة البسيطة ممكن نعمله ممكن المواطن يقدر يفهمه. شكرا جزيلا.
Thank you very much. The Minister of Finance has just repeated himself in local Arabic so that our wider viewers can be able to understand the statement that he just gave, of which we promise you that we will give you the details of this statement shortly. And also just to put a reminder to you that after this new statement, there will be a meeting at a central bank boardroom, which will consist of the MDs of all the commercial banks, and journalists will be also expected after that meeting to ask their relevant questions after the meeting is done. For now, we'd like to thank the Minister of Finance and Economic Planning, David Dengaporbi, and the Governor of Central Bank of South Sudan, Cornelius Korean, for taking their time and briefing us on the current update. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, that's all for now. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Tex Stephen Good. Goodbye.
Bye.